John Sweeney has been president of the American Federation of Labor, Congress of Industrial Organizations, AFL-CIO, since 1995. And in this position, he represents 10.5 million workers. So he's going to tell us a little bit about his take on the current economic recession. John, thanks for being with us. You've mentioned that the OECD economies for Q1 of this year were down around 8.5%, which is the worst on record. How does that statistic translate to the worker? What does it mean for him?
Oh, that statistic just reveals how serious this crisis is for workers and their families. I mean, we're talking about people's livelihood and what their future is going to be like unless we take some strong actions to stimulate the economy and to really work on job development. A lot of what we're talking about with the downturn is about middle-class jobs.
What kind of urgent or aggressive or coordinated action are you looking for from governments?
Well, there's many areas that could be addressed in order to continue to help the recovery, and there's no question about it. There's a lot of support for another stimulus package, but it has to be a stimulus package that has broad accountability protections and transparency. We can't just turn money over to people without any accounting for it and without any cooperation on their part. CEO compensation has to be addressed in these discussions. If corporations are going to receive money from this is taxpayers' money, going to receive money from the government, they have to be accountable and they have to share in the sacrifices that others have.
It sounds as though you might have a problem with the way some of the stimulus money was handed out by the last administration.
Oh, I think that that there are a lot of problems with it, and that's what woke us up to the fact that there has to be greater transparency and accountability.
Let's go back to the auto industry for just a minute. Was GM worth saving?
I believe that GM is a major employer and has been a successful producer of cars for many years. I think that that any major employer who wants to try and save the company and wants to protect the jobs of as many people as possible deserves consideration for support.
What are your hopes for the future of health care in the U.S.? What would you like to see the Obama administration do?
Oh, I think that we need a national health care program like all of the other industrialized countries throughout the world have. Every other single country, industrial company that is, has some form of national health care. It's about time the United States had the same, and we need the political will to address that. It is a major factor in the economic crisis, and we have to have a health system that provides access to health care to everyone. For the almost 50 million people to be without health care in our country is a disgrace. When the Clintons were trying to reform health care, we had 35 million without health care, and now it's grown to close to 50 million. It's about time we address the issue, and we needed a crisis like we have right now to help move it.
Health care has been one of the most expensive aspects of running a business. So what kind of impact is health care reform likely to have on businesses?
Well, I think that the cost control could be more effective, and while it's true that some major employers provide good health care to their employees, there are many who don't, and it's the ones who do provide health care who also pay with their tax dollars for those who are uncompensated care, and it's not fair to the good employers to have to be paying double, and other employers being let go free.
Wage reductions are one of the givebacks that unions have been making recently. What kind of impact do you think that's going to have in the short term and in the long term?
The focus right now is on the economic crisis and how do we recover from it. The hope is that we will restore stability in the economy, and workers who are protected by membership in a union will, I'm sure, bargain collectively to improve their wages and to improve their conditions. I don't think that they think they're giving up everything for the rest of their life.
Do you think the union's voice is going to be strengthened as a result of the economic crisis, or is it being a little bit more subdued?
We didn't push in the direction of achieving an economic crisis. In fact, we had been warning business and government that we were on the verge of a crisis, but not too many people were paying attention to that, and we think that the average person has learned a lot from this crisis, and they're going to be taking a second look at the economic conditions and what protections they have and what regulations our government puts forth in terms of avoiding this kind of crisis.
Do you see the Obama administration as finding a way out? A lot of people are looking at the U.S. banking system as being one of the reasons that we're in this mess to begin with.
Well, they can look at whatever they want to, but this didn't start under President Obama's administration. This started with a prior administration, and they were part of the problem. We're not going to get everything as fast as we had hoped. It's going to take time, but I'm confident that the President is very capable and is surrounding himself with some outstanding people.
If you could fix everything yourself, what would you do?
I do much of what the President and the Congress is doing right now, but I think that we would also continue to express changes that we think might be necessary in terms of regulation of the financial markets and more accountability. And I believe that the most important thing that we have is ourselves, our country. Labor and management and government should be working together.
How do you think we got into this mess in the first place?
Well, there's a number of factors that went into the start of this crisis, and I believe that some of the changes that had taken place with regulations that had been set up for years in different industries contributed to it. I believe that the whole situation with the banks and the financial institutions contributed to all this, but the list is long in terms of what led up to all of this. What we need now is more focus on how do we resolve it and how do we avoid a financial crisis of this size.
And what lessons have we learned?
Oh, I think we've learned a lot from our experience, and I believe that that's going to help us to focus on the kind of legislation and regulation that we need, and I think that we also have to take a close look at those that we elect to office and those that we that come into an administration, to make sure that they have the background and the ability to really manage the economic issues.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sweeney, for being with us.